And regular business meeting of the Wappinger Central School District Board of Education is called to order at 6:32 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for joining us today in our first meeting of the Board of Education for the 1920 school year. Congratulations to our incumbent, Eddie Sloshower, on his re-election, and congratulations to our two newly elected board members, Marie Johnson and Michael Lopez. Item 3.01 on the agenda is the administration of the oath of office to the newly elected board members. Mr. Sloshower, please stand and come forward.
That was a joke. I wasn't going to take this up.
Okay, going to raise your right hand. Repeat from the I, all the way down to according to the best of my ability.
I, Eddie A. Sloshower, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of board member of the Wappinger Central School District Board of Education for the term July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2022, accordingly to the best of my ability.
Marie Johnson. Please raise your right hand. Raise the mic. You're going to read from
I, Marie Johnson, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of board member of the Wappinger Central School District Board of Education for the term July 1, 2019 to June 30th, 2022, according to the best of my ability.
Michael Lopez. And raise your right hand. Into the mic. And you will be in.
I, Michael Lopez, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of board member of the Wappinger Central School District Board of Education for the term July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2022, according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, item 3.02 is the superintendent's oath of office. Mr. Carrigan. Okay, raise your right hand. You are going to read from here to here.
I, Jose L. Carrion, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of superintendent of schools of the Wappinger Central School District for the 2019-2020 school year, according to the best of my ability.
Let's make you sign.
Use your finger.
Okay. Item 4.01 on the agenda is the election of the board president. At this time, I am requesting nominations for the position of board president for the 2019-2020 school year. Are there any nominations? Eddie Sloshower?
I'll nominate John Lumia.
Is there a second? Marie Johnson? Okay. Any other nominations for president?
I nominate.
Keith Odoms, who do you nominate?
You need help?
3 years, 2 years already.
Yeah.
That one's easy.
I nominate Peggy Kayla.
Is there a second for Peggy Kelly? Mrs. Rappaport? Are there any other nominations for president of the Board of Education? Going once? Going twice? Okay, nominations are closed. Okay, we'll be voting on either John Lumia or Peggy Kellen for president of the Board of Education. Please only select one nominee. Those in favor of John Lumia for president of the Board of Education, please raise your hand. Kristen, please record the vote. Rob Rubin, Michael Lopez, Eddie Sloshower, John Lumia, Marie Johnson. All those in favor of Peggy Kellen as president of the Board of Education, please raise your hand. Linda Rappaport, James Spencer, Keith Odoms, Peggy Kellen. Mr. Lumia, you're president of the Board of Education. Congratulations. Mr. Lumia, please come forward and take the oath of office.
Speak into the mic.
Raise your right hand.
I, John Lumia, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of President of the Wabash Central School District Board of Education for the 2019-2020 school year according to the best of my ability.
Mr. Lumia, you are now chair of the meeting and may conduct nominations for vice president of the Board of Education, which is item 4.02 on the agenda.
Are there any nominations for Vice President for the Board of Education? What's your name again? Mr. Spencer?
I nominate Keith Odoms.
Any seconds? Mr. Rubin? Anybody else?
Peggy Kelly.
Any second?
Any second? 2 seconds, okay.
Oh, you have to tell me which
Which
second.
second?
Mr.
Well, no, Mike's hand
Mr.
was up.
Sloshower and Mr. Juan Lopez.
Only one, please.
Mike's hand was up first.
Mr. Lopez.
Ask for any more nominations.
Come on. Okay, nominations are closed.
Okay.
All those in favor of Mr. Odom?
Okay, say their names, Mr. Lumia.
Mr. Laporte? Mr. Spencer? Mr. Odom? Ms. Peggy Kellen? Eddie Sloshower? Mr. Lopez, Mr. Rubin, and Mr. Rubin. And Ms. Marie Johnson. Unanimous, I guess.
Okay. Would Mr. Odoms? Okay. It's on so short. You're gonna raise your right hand.
I will.
Down to you.
Captain.
I, Keith Odoms, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Vice President of the Wapatos Central School District Board of Education for the year 2019 through 2020 school year according to the best of my abilities.
The members review the sign for ethics.
Thank you.
Six point oh one, appointments of officers for the school year.
Resolved that the Board of Education of Wapatos Central School District does hereby approve the appointment of the following officers for the 2019-2020 school year as stated.
Any questions? All in favor?
Motion.
Motion.
I make the motion.
Any second?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Call the vote, Mr. Lumia. Say unanimous.
That's unanimous. 6.02, approve appointments.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Wapatos Central School District does hereby approve the following appointments for the 2019-2020 school year as stated.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. 6.03, designation appointments.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Wapatos Central School District does hereby approve the following designation appointments for the 2019-2020 school year as stated.
So moved.
Mr. Rubin?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. 6.04, designation appointments, acting superintendent.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the designation appointments for acting superintendent for the 2019-2020 school year as stated.
Mr. Rubin?
Yep,
Second.
so moved.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. 6.05 is designation to appoint impartial hearing officer.
Whereas Commissioner Regulation 200.5 directs that the Board of Education arrange for an impartial hearing officer in accordance with the Commissioner's rule, and whereas the Commissioner's regulations require that the rotation process must be initiated immediately, but no later than 2 business days after receipt by the school district of the written request for the hearing, and whereas the Commissioner's regulations allow the Board of Education to designate one or more of its members to appoint the impartial hearing officer once an available impartial hearing officer from the rotational list has been found to be available. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board President or Vice President be designated as having the power to appoint an impartial hearing officer who has been selected in accordance with the regulations of the Commissioner of Education on behalf of the Board of Education.
Move.
Second.
All in favor? 6.06, designation to appoint acting principals for short-term student disciplinary matters. 3214.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby designate the appointment of the following acting principals for short-term disciplinary matters for the 2019-20 school year as stated.
Might as well. So moved.
Any questions? All in favor? Unanimous. First of all, I'm glad I don't have to read all this. 6.07, designation official bank depository.
Resolved that the following banks and/or trust companies be and hereby are designated as the official depositories for the funds as stated.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. 6.08, designation official newspapers.
Resolved that the Board of Education designate the Poughkeepsie Journal and the Southern Dutchess News as the official newspapers of the Wapanger Central School District for the 2019-2020 school year.
Move.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. 6.09, designation special education.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Wapanger Central School District does hereby approve the following special education designations for the 2019-2020 school year as stated.
I'll move. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Authorization.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Wapanger Central School District does hereby approve the following authorizations for the 2019-2020 school year as stated.
Move.
Come on,
All
number
right.
8.
Rescan?
No, is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous? 6.11, authorization of petty cash accounts.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby authorize the following petty cash accounts be established for the 2019-2020 school year as stated.
So moved.
Discussion? Ms. Johnson, any discussion? All in favor? Authorization of change funds.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby authorize the following change funds be established for the 2019-2020 school year as stated.
Move.
Second.
Discussion? Any? All in favor? Unanimous. Authorization for transfer of state aid funds by wire.
Resolved that the Wapanger Central School District be authorized to direct the State Education Department to transfer state aid funds by wire to the approved bank of record per annum.
So
Yes,
moved.
and I'll second. And there is a discussion, just for the benefit, because I'm going to vote in favor of it, of the new members who may not be aware of this. Could we have, is she here? Or maybe just tell why we're doing this, that's all.
Fine.
Good evening. The change funds are basically the starting cash for each drawer at the school building in the food service department. So they come up with a dollar amount, it gets reconciled at the end of the school year, deposited back into the account. It's very similar to petty cash. Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Approval for the renewed PMA self-funded workers' compensation.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby renew PMA to continue to represent the district as a third-party administrator for the 2019-2020 school year.
Move.
Second.
Just brief discussion, just,
Over 20 years ago, the district was self-funded with regard to workers' compensation insurance. These are the remaining claims. PMA is the name of the company that was the self-funded provider. These are the remaining claims. We are closing them out. I think there are 3 left, maybe 4. Slow to close them out, but we're working on it, so we have to renew this because there's no way that we could administer this ourselves.
those 2 people will be holding this, the same 2 people will hold those accounts, correct?
Okay.
Just
We're mixing apples and oranges. This is the workers' compensation, the capital financial advisors. That is the one where we'll have the same
Okay.
people. So I can discuss that when you're ready.
All those in favor? Unanimous. 6.15, continue participation in class.
Resolved that the Board of Education of Wapato Central School District does hereby approve the district's continued participation in the cooperative liquid asset securities system pursuant to Article 5-6, Section 119-0 of the General Municipal Law is hereby affirmed.
Move.
Johnson, any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Notification of BOCES bid participation.
Resolved that the Wapato Central School District shall participate in any BOCES bid and BOCES cooperative consortium that are in the best interest of the district during the 2019-2020 school year.
Move.
Ms. Rappaport? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Bonded personnel.
Resolved that the following individuals be bonded under the district's insurance policy as stated.
I'm gonna move.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, just a quick, these numbers to me seem similar. I mean, I'm gonna vote to approve it, but I would just like to, in the future, maybe to take a look and see whether these bonding numbers are high enough. I don't know. I think they're the same as they were last year.
We ask every year the insurance company as to what the adequate levels are in advance of this meeting. It was done this year as well. They are still adequate.
Okay.
Thank you.
All in favor? Adoption of the Board President powers.
Resolved that the Board of Education of Wapato Central School District does hereby adopt Board President powers as stated.
Any discussion?
Move.
Second? Ms. Johnson? All in favor? Readoption of district policies.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby readopt all existing 2018-2019 board policies for continuation during the 2019-2020 school year unless revised, amended, or retired by action of the Board of Education.
Mr. Rubin, second. Rappaport?
Question. The Code of Conduct, does that fall under board policy? Or that is
No.
a separate?
The board policy? Yeah, I guess it does.
Code, okay.
All in favor? Abstain? Opposed? One opposed. Seven point oh three, adoption of 2019-2020 Board of Education meeting calendar.
Resolved that the Board of Education of Wapato Central School District does hereby adopt the 2019-2020 Board of Education meeting calendar as stated.
I'll move.
Ms. Johnson, Mr. Rubin, second.
Yep.
Any discussion? Mr. Sasha?
Is everyone on the board okay with next year's date for the reorg meeting? I know this always comes up just based on where 4th of July falls. Are we gonna, last year we moved it after the holiday and then in January do the some factors, we moved it to tonight. I mean, we can always change it during the year, during the school year, just if any. We got it for July 1st for next year. I just didn't know if
My
anybody.
only concern with that would be if for some reason we don't have a perfect reelection of the three candidates next year, any new candidate that would be coming in would have a matter of a few hours to review the entire packet. And on 36 hours, it was rough.
I mean, we can always, I just brought it up because we always seem to every year, we have a date, then we put this, then change it, so if we can just stay consistent, at least the time I've been on the board the last 3 years.
That's Paul, I mean, people want to stay the way it is. Mr. Rubin?
All right, keep it unchanged.
Mr. Lopez?
I mean, I'm okay, I just wanted to bring it up for discussion.
Look, we have to change it, we'll change it. Right now, we'll stick where it is.
Okay.
All those in favor? Unanimous. 7.04, acceptance of cell phone inventory.
Resolved that the Board of Education of Wapanger Central School District hereby accepts the inventory of cell phones for the 2019-2020 school year as stated.
So moved.
Second. Ms. Johnson? Any discussion? All those in favor? Approve the amended curriculum committee charter.
Whereas on July 9th, 2018, the Board of Education of Wapanger Central School District approved a resolution that all standing committee charters shall remain in effect permanently unless amended or dissolved by recommendation of the respective committee and by action of the Board of Education. Now therefore be it resolved, based upon the recommendation of the curriculum committee, the Board of Education of Wapanger Central School District does hereby approve the curriculum committee charter as amended.
Move.
Second. Ms. Rappaport, any questions? All those in favor?
All right.
Unanimous. Motion to dissolve the long-term development committee.
So moved.
All right, you can't read it.
Sorry, jumping the gun, sorry.
Whereas the curriculum committee has been established and its purpose duplicates the functions of the long-term development committee. And whereas the long-term development committee members discussed and agreed to dissolve in light of establishment of the curriculum committee, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of Wapinger's Central School District does hereby dissolve the long-term development committee effective July 2nd, 2019.
Mr. Lopez, second. Ms. Kellen, discussion? Any questions? All in favor?
All in favor, yeah.
Unanimous. Designate board members to serve on standing committees. Just to make a comment here, I hope that people who already served, at least one person who already served on the committee, stays on the committee for the sake of continuity. So, the people who were, for example, on the audit committee was Mr. Odom, Mr. Galera, and Ms. Rappaport were on the audit committee. You want to stay on that committee? No. Okay. Someone can stay? Yeah, no. Do we have any, John, do you like to go on the committee?
Yeah, I'd like to try that one out.
Okay. And the way it comes, she comes back. So she can- We need one more board member on the audit committee. Right now we have Mr. Odom, Ms. Johnson, we need one more member.
John, I was on several years ago. If you don't have anybody, I'll do it.
Right now, there's no one else, so, Mr. Rubin. District-wide school safety team.
Okay, I lost you, you have to
I'm
back up.
sorry, Mr. Odom, Ms. Gaviai, Ms. Marie Johnson.
Hold on. Marie Johnson,
And Mr. Rob Rubin.
thank you.
The district-wide safety committee, safety team in the past was Mr. Galetta, Mr. Spencer, and Ms. Rappaport. Mr. Spencer will stand there.
Yes, sir.
We need one more person for that committee. Anybody else want to volunteer for that?
Members-
District-wide school safety team?
How many committees are we required to be?
Could be as many as you want.
Oh, no, I didn't know if there was a minimum. Try to spread the word.
Linda's gonna
We tried to spread them out, but if you, we need one more member.
Six. No, there's 10 committees, there's 8 of us.
Sorry, I'll get to- I'll get for one and one.
Technically, I mean, we should each take at least 3, and then there's 1 or 2 of us that's gonna have to take 4.
We do that. District-wide safety?
I'll be in district.
May I make a suggestion, Mr. Lumia?
Absolutely, Mr. Rubin.
Why don't we, you may not have all the required members, but at this point, at least at this point in the meeting, just take the names of the ones who want to be on that, and then we can see how many more
Split it
people
up at the end.
we need, yeah.
It's an interesting committee.
As of now, Mr. Odom volunteered for that, Mr. Spencer, and Mr. Rappaport. The Wellness Committee, presently there's Mr. Odom and Ms. Rappaport. What's there in that committee?
Yes.
Mr. Odom, what's there in that committee? Wellness.
I'm at 3.
Don't volunteer. Did anybody want to volunteer for that committee?
I'll do it.
Mr. Rubin? Anybody else? We'll come back to it. Capital Improvement Committee. I'm sure Mr. Schlashow wants to stay in that.
I do.
Ms. Marie Johnson's been a member of that committee forever. I hope she stays on there. And Mr. Rubin, you've been a member of that committee, I hope you stay on there too.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. Policy. And it passed, Mr. Rubin?
Curriculum.
You skipped a couple curriculum.
I did.
Curriculum.
Not according to this. My apologies. Policy.
Oh,
Curriculum.
Curriculum.
Curriculum, John. You want to do policy now, you can do it.
Okay, so that's curriculum, okay, who wants to be in a curriculum committee, okay? Guess what? Mr. Lopez? Ms. Killen? Mr. Rappaport?
There's only 2 on that. There's only 2 on that.
Darn it. You're right. What do you think? Only 2? We'll come back to it. Maybe somebody will,
No, there's only allowed 2.
I don't understand that, but that's, we changed that. I believe that was, we went 2 board members, that's what the new charter stated.
The new charter is 2 board members plus the president as ex officio,
Well,
so.
I'll tell you right now,
I'll drop off.
since I'm the board president, I'm gonna give my seat to,
You
can I
can't,
do
you're
that?
ex officio.
Okay.
You're ex officio.
That's all right, I'll drop off for Mr. Lopez and Ms. Rappaport.
Thank you. All right, what's next? Personnel Committee. Mr. Spencer, Mr. Odom, and Mr. Rubio.
Here's the new one. This is where you're up to.
Okay, thank you. Presently in the Personnel Committee with Mr. Spencer, Mr. Odom, and myself. Mr. Spencer will stay on that committee. Okay, Mr. Spencer stays on. Mr. Odom, stay on there. Okay.
Oh, you want?
Okay, Ms. Kellen? Ms. Kellen?
I'll come over. No, you can have.
You can have 3.
No, basically.
Anybody? Ms. Rappaport, okay. So Personnel Committee, Mr. Spencer, Mr. Rappaport, and Mr. Kelly. What's next? Policy Committee. Presently, there are the policy, Mr. Rubin, and Mr. Rubia. So Mr. Rubin will stay on that committee?
If it's okay, yes.
Okay, okay. Mr. Slauer and as well as Mr. Lopez. Wait a minute.
You have to start looking this way,
I'm
sorry.
sorry. Ruben, why don't you give that to the policy to Mrs. Kelly? You mind?
That's fine.
So can you repeat the members of that, please, the policy?
It's gonna be, Mr. Slashower, I believe it was,
Mhm.
Mrs. Kellen, and Mr. Lopez. Strategic Planning Committee. Right now is, well, guess what? Well, what one's gonna be strategic, okay, it's gonna be Mr. Spencer. Wait a minute. Mr. Odom? Anybody else? And Ms. Kellen.
Now go to the next
Ready?
agenda item. Yep, next agenda item.
Are we okay with what, with the
I know in the
membership?
back, but that's
Oh.
a different agenda item.
Hold on a second.
Wellness, you need wellness.
Yeah, but that's a different
Wellness.
agenda item, I
No, we
believe,
have.
correct?
Go back to wellness.
Oh, wellness, thank you.
Yes.
We need 3 people for wellness. Who's gonna volunteer for wellness?
So you need 2 more then?
2 more.
It meets,
It meets 4 times a year, so it's not, they're not the main meetings.
In the early morning.
It's set?
Early morning.
what time?
Around 8 AM.
Those, they're different.
I'll do it.
Okay.
So who's on that now?
Right now, it's,
Marie?
Ms. Galeta, Mr. Odom, Mr. Rappaport, so, right now, Mrs.
Marie?
Johnson has volunteered. Anybody else?
You need somebody.
Yeah, we do. Thank you, Ms. Kellen. One more person, please.
That's it.
No, just
Okay,
get.
No, that's it.
It was Robbie and Peggy.
Okay, that's it.
So, wait a second, there's one more that you got playing, right?
Well, those are.
No, that's it, that's it.
No.
Oh, okay.
Strategic planning and legislative.
Right, that goes next. Next agenda item.
8.04, approve to establish and designate board member to serve on ad hoc board committees.
The board president will request volunteers for 2 board ad hoc committees. Ad hoc committees require a minimum of 2 board members in order to have a committee this year. The board president serves as an ex officio on all board committees. Resolve that.
Don't read anymore. Now pick the people, and then we go on to that.
I'm sorry?
Now you ask for the volunteers.
Who wants to volunteer for the communication, community communication committee? Ms. Johnson? Anybody else? Mr. Lopez? And that's it, I believe, right?
That's
2
good, you
people.
need 2.
Legislative Action Committee, any volunteers for that? Mr. Rubin, as well as Mr. Slashower. And last but not least, the Smart School Bond Act Committee. Eddie Slashower, Eddie? Anybody else?
I don't know
One more
that there's
person
any
needs-
board members on that one.
I'm
I
sorry?
think that's just a district one.
That's just the district.
That's a district one that, in your next resolution, you will approve it to exist. So you don't need any board members for that.
Okay.
What happened to strategic? Oh, we have.
We did it. Yep.
The next one is the PTA council. right?
Yep, no, now go back to 8.04 and read the second part of that resolution.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Wapanger Central School District does hereby establish the
Community Communications,
Community Communications Committee, Legislative Action Committee, Smart
Mhm.
School Bond Act Committee,
For the-
Board Ad hoc Committees in the District, Smart School Bond Act Ad hoc Committee for the 2019-2020 school year. Please note, any board ad hoc committee which is established by the majority of the board must submit a revised charter outlining the focus of their work this school year to the Board of Education for approval.
So at this point, we can have somebody for,
so now you have all your members, and so now I need a motion and a second to establish those committees. Now they can exist and do work.
Ms. Johnson, second. All in favor?
Who was the second? I'm
Ms.
sorry.
Johnson and Mr. Rubin
Oh,
seconded.
okay.
All those in favor? Unanimous?
May I ask a question?
intro.
Oh,
I have stuff just out of curiosity. Since the Smart Bond Act does not require board members, it's a community. Okay, I originally was on that committee prior to being a board member, and I continued during those meetings. Is
You
that-
can continue.
There's no conflict?
Right,
there's
no
nothing?
conflict.
Okay, thank you.
yes, as long as your role stays that of a community member.
Right, okay, thank you.
8.05 PTA Council of Representatives.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby appoint trustee.
Is anybody in favor of being a member of the PTA, wants to volunteer?
Trustee James Spencer to serve as the board representative at the PTA council meeting for the 2019-2020 school year.
All those in favor?
Oh,
Who
you
was
need
the
a
motion? Yeah.
Make a motion,
So
please,
moved.
Mr. Rubin.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. 8.06, membership of Dutchess County School Board Association.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby elect to join the Dutchess County School Board Association for the 2019-2020 school year for annual dues of an amount of $895.
So moved.
You gotta keep reading.
Be it further resolved that,
Who wants to volunteer for that?
I'm not finished,
Well-
be designated as a Wappinger school, Wappinger.
We need a name.
Okay.
John.
Ms. Peggy Kelly?
No, point of information. Just a point of information, sir. I myself would have to remove myself from that because I am the representative of the Dutchess County BOCES to that organization. So I feel it would be a conflict to be the representative of, I don't think I can represent both organizations on that committee. So, because I represent BOCES in that committee.
Well, by her volunteering, that conflict doesn't exist, so, Ms. Peggy Kelly?
Be it further resolved that trustee Kelly be designated as a Wappinger Central School District DCSBA Director on the Association Board of Directors for the 2019-2020 school year.
Move.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. 8.07, membership, New York State School Board Association.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the membership of the New York State School Boards Association for 2019-2020 school year at a cost not to exceed $12,754.
Move.
Second. Mr. Johnson, discussion.
Yeah, just one thing. I don't think that this has changed much, if any, from last year. Does anybody have an idea what the cost on that was last year?
Same as last year.
Same.
Okay.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Schwarzbauer. Opposed? Mr. Schwarzbauer.
Let me continue, sir.
All right, that ends all the appointments. I'd like to just, before we go on to executive session, I'd like to first of all thank Ms. Kelly for the fantastic job she's done the last 4 years. And I sincerely hope both Mr. Orb and I will do just a great job as she did for the last 4 years. So thank you for being president for 4 years, and I'd like to congratulate the new people who come on board. We're looking forward to working with you. Oh, at this time, we're going to go into executive session.
The motion.
I'll make the motion.
To go into executive session.
So
Second.
moved.
Okay, second, all in favor?
He has to read the motion so the public knows why you're going into exec.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby motion to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of discussing the employment history of particular staff members.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. We'll see you shortly, maybe in about an hour. Less than We're back. 11.01.
Mike, John, Mike.
Anybody hear me back there without the mic? Absolutely.
You gotta use the mic.
You gotta use the mic, sir.
Yeah, come on.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right, use the mic. Can you hear me now? 11.01, public comments on regular business agenda items. The public comment period, a time slot set aside on the agenda for citizens to address the Board of Education. The open meetings law does not require that citizens be allowed to participate and speak at Board of Education meetings other than public hearings. The law specifies that the public has a right to attend board meetings except for executive sessions. The procedure for public comments outlined in Board Policy 1230, citizen participation. A total of 30 minutes set aside for public comment at the beginning and the end of the meeting. Limited to the items of the agenda. Persons who wish to participate in the public comment portion of the meeting must state their name and a specific topic about which they wish to speak. And speakers must limit comments to issues appropriate for public discussion, compliments or complaints about student discipline, specific student issues, or personnel should not be addressed during public comment. Speakers who wish to discuss specific students or personnel matters are encouraged to speak to the superintendent or other appropriate administrators after the conclusion of the board meeting. Interruption of board discussion is not permitted. In the interest of civility and respect for different points of view, outbursts from the audience, applause, and other types of disturbances or disruption are not permitted. Under no circumstances will the board be tolerated. The Board of Education recognizes responsibility to hear and respond to public comment. As stated in the Board Policy 1230, the board is not able to answer questions at the meeting, but welcomes your statements. Any questions from the public should be submitted to the use of the public comment form, which may be obtained online or at the desk of the district clerk. Responses will be provided within 2 business days on the district public comment response page, so that everyone may receive information. Are there any comments from the public? Seeing none. 11.02, communication announcement received by the Board of Education. Mr. Rubin?
Mr. President, thank you. On June 18th, I attended the Dutchess County BOCES Board of Education meeting. June 19th, the Dutchess County BOCES Facilities Acquisition Committee, which is similar in scope to our Capital Improvement Committee. On June 20th, the Dutchess County School Board's annual meeting as a representative of BOCES there. June 23rd, I unfortunately, along with you, Mr. Lumia, went to the funeral for Holton Lucas. June 24th, New York State School Boards Association, they had a complimentary reception that I attended with a number of other board members here. June 25th, DC BOCES LPN graduation I attended. On 7/1, we had a Booster Club subcommittee meeting. We'd like to apologize to the district, but due to personal family situations, I was unable to attend any of the high school graduations, and I was very upset with that. But they all looked fine, and congratulations to all the graduates.
Mr. Lopez? Want a shower? Don't say it.
I attended all 3 high school graduations, and once again, I was extremely impressed with Orchard View, John Jay, and RCK. Those events were fantastic. Congratulations again to all the kids. I also want to congratulate all 3 principals for doing another outstanding job this year, especially Mr. K in his first year. Did a fantastic job with John Jay. And I also want to congratulate and thank all the staff and teachers and everyone involved in putting together these graduations. Each year they seem to get, I don't say bigger and better, but they're definitely great events for the district, and it was an honor to attend and shake close to 1,000 hands of graduates.
Mr. Odom?
Thank you. I was proud to be on stage with the central office staff and the rest of the trustees at the John Jay and RCK graduation. It was very organized. The parents were well behaved. Of course, the students were too, but the parents were well behaved. It was a great opportunity to see everyone fulfill their goals and shake everyone's hands. And thank you for this appointment for Vice President also. Thank you.
My rep report?
What am I gonna do without you? I attended the 8th grade graduation at Van Wyck and the pre-graduations of John Jay, RCK, and Orchard View. You know, I just have to say that it's very poignant to see these transitions. When I was in school, we didn't have, you know, moving up in preschool, and 4th grade, and 8th grade, and so it's just interesting to see, and then you've got this like 1 second relationship with 1,000 people. And I was saying to my husband, it was like, you know, you can almost see who they are in these little tiny snapshots that just keep coming after you, the way they shake your hand, or they meet your eyes, or they don't meet your eyes, and you know, they're on the edge. They're on the edge of being who they are, and it's kind of glorious and wonderful. And I was thinking about all of my little 3rd grade students who are graduating this year, and you know, in my mind, they're these little 8-year-olds, but nothing is permanent. So that's my philosophical take on all this.
Mr. Spencer?
Thank you, Mr. Williams. So I also attended the moving up ceremonies at both junior high schools, Van Wyck and Bob Jr., as well as all 3 graduations, Orchard View, John Jay, and RCK. And personally, it was a very proud moment for me, the RCK graduation. My youngest, James, the 3rd, graduated, and it was an honor for me to be on stage and to hand his diploma. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the entire community, especially the Wappinger Central School District, for helping me and my wife raise all 4 of my kids that have gone through the district, and really appreciate all the hard work everyone has contributed to their educational career. Thank you.
Mute.
I did, it's not working.
Push it.
Yeah, push it up, Rich. You got it? Okay, push it up.
James is gonna.
I know, we could have the slide back over there.
I want the slide back one. Yes, I was able to attend on June 20th the Dutchess County School Board's dinner and meeting, and the students there prepared a very nice meal for us, and it was very nice to be able to meet members of the community.
We're not turning it off.
I attended also the Dutchess County School Boards Association annual meeting and dinner, which was prepared for us by the culinary students at Arlington High School. They did a nice job. I also attended the New York State School Boards Association reception that they held, and a number of us went to that. And the agenda setting meeting and the ad hoc committee, which Mr. Spencer and Mr. Rubin were also at, on booster clubs, which was designated at the previous board meeting. But especially, I attended the graduations of Orchard View, John Jay, and R.C. Ketchum. And it's wonderful. It's, as they come up and you shake their hand, it's like each one is your grandchild. And you just feel so proud of all of them. So congratulations to everyone.
Last but not least, I attended merely the moving out ceremonies at Van Wyck, as well as Robert Junior High. For the first time in 11 years, I was not able to attend the graduations. And I'm very proud of from what I can see. Mr. Coletta actually sent me photos of the food that was available there. And he really did. So in any event, I'm sorry I did not meet those, the graduations, and I want to congratulate every one of those students and wish them a great future. That's it. Consent agenda 1301.
Nope, 1201.
Oh, superintendent report. My apologies.
I won't keep you
I
long.
pass you.
Good evening, President Lumia, members of the Board of Education. First, I'd like to extend the congratulations to your presidency as well as to Trustee Onus, now our Vice President of the Board of Education. And I want to thank our former Madam President Kellen for serving as president. I don't have to thank you because you're still on. And just for really providing lots of guidance. I have been lucky with former President Bittaker and with our former President Kellen, and with their guidance and mentorship, and I look forward to the work that we will be doing together. But thank you very much for what you have done for our district. And superintendent's report. Yes, well, we attended all 3 graduations as well. I'd like to take this opportunity. This is a time where I just wish everyone a happy new year. As educators, we have 2 years, 2 New Years and 2, so it's a new year. And the best part of graduation is actually when the students are walking on stage and you get to shake their hand. The second best part is that it's the only time of the year where the entire team, we go together, we go out together 2 nights in a row, and we eat dinner and we laugh and we crack up and we have a great time discussing everything that we do. So this team, we can't do it without each other, and it's a superb team. And as we enter the new year, we have many people that we've been interviewing, trying to get, everyone's busy conducting interviews. Dr. Bach is busy making sure that they go into the agenda, and I have to say that tremendous shout out to our Director, Bross, Facilities and Operations. Started the new year already. Did some tours yesterday, did some tours today, and it's always nerve-wracking in July when you see everything that's going on. So Fishkill Plains, many men, I'm not being gender biased, but that's the many men were up on the roof already, replacing the roof, knocking down walls at Royce Ketchum High School, Kinry Road, the work that we have going. Evans, we won't even talk about. But when you see all of this construction, a big shout out goes to our Director, Ron Bross, who not only serves as our director, but as our general contractor, getting out there and making sure that all of this gets done for our students. So I want to give you that thank you, and just be patient with me when I'm not understanding a certain wire in the elevator or something. Just now we're getting ready to open up the new school year. And once we get our professional read, we will share, we will always get a copy for the Board of Education members, so you're aware what we will be doing in our retreat, our own retreat, as well as a retreat with all of our administrators. Thank you.
Since the superintendent has spoken. Since the superintendent talked about the capital improvements that have been done in the district, there'll be no meeting tomorrow of the Capital Improvement Committee. However, there'll be a meeting on the 23rd where, I think the 23rd is a Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
24th.
24th. The 24th, the board is invited. We're going to be going to the district and see all the schools. So you're welcome to participate. So we'll probably meet at the annex at Royce Ketchum High School, and we'll take a little tour of the buildings.
10 o'clock, Mr.
10
President?
o'clock, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. I also like to compliment Mr. Broad for the fantastic work that he's doing. We're really lucky to have him. Consent agenda resolution. Does anybody want to remove any item from the consent agenda? Mr. Solskjaer?
13.11.
Anyone else?
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the following consent agenda items as stated: 13.02, 13.03, 13.04, 13.05, 13.06, 13.07, 13.08, 13.09, 13.10, 13.12, 13.13, 13.14, 13.15, and 13.16.
Move, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. 13.11.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the NISBA Policy Update Service Annual Subscription Agreement at the rate of $900 effective April 1st, 2019 to
August.
August 1st, 2019 through July 31st, 2020.
Move.
Second.
Discussion? Ed?
Discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One opposed.
You a yes or no?
Yes. Wait.
Dr. Bond?
Not so fast.
Oh, yes.
As you saw, Board of Education on the personnel agenda, and the superintendent mentioned that we are ardently hiring individuals to get ready for next school year. We have a couple of individuals who are here with us this evening. First of all, I'd like to introduce Brian Hatfield, who will be working over at Oak Grove. Brian, please stand. Welcome to Wappingers. And in addition, we have Tara Kohler, who will be our new professional development specialist in the areas of science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, K-6. Welcome to Wappingers, and thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So excited.
On behalf of the board, I'd like to congratulate both of you, and I'm looking forward to the specialist in science. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
14.01, approval of bond resolution.
A resolution authorizing the issuance of $2,297,040 bonds of Wappingers Central School District, Dutchess, and Putnam County, New York, to pay the cost of the purchase of student transportation vehicles in and for said school district. Whereas all conditions precedent to the financing of the capital project whereafter described, including compliance with provisions of the State Environmental Quality Review as a Type 2 action, have been performed, and whereas the annual meeting of the qualified voter of Wappingers Central School District, Dutchess and Putnam County, New York, School District, held on May 21st, 2019. A proposition was duly adopted authorizing the Board of Education of said school district to undertake the purchase of student transportation vehicles, including incidental expenses in connection therewith, at a maximum estimated cost of $2,297,040. Such proposition providing for the levy of a tax therefore to be collected in installments with up to $2,297,040 obligations of said school district to be issued in anticipation thereof and purposes and for the financing thereof. Now, therefore, be it resolved by an affirmative vote of not less than 2/3 of the total voting strength of the Board of Education of Wappingers Central School District, Dutchess and Putnam County, New York, as follows.
Hold on one second.
Section 1, the purchase of student transportation vehicles, $2,297,040 in connection therewith at a maximum estimated cost of $2,297,040 in and for the Wapages Central School District, Dutchess, and Putnam County, New York, is thereby authorized. Section 2. The plan for financing of the aforesaid $2,297,040 maximum estimated cost shall be by the issuance of $2,297,040 bonds of said school district, hereby authorized to be issued therefore pursuant to the provisions of the local finance law. Section 3. It is hereby determined that the period of probable usefulness of the aforesaid class of objects or purposes is 5 years, pursuant to subdivision 29 of paragraph A of section 11 of the local finance law. Section 4. The faith and credit of the Wapages Central School District, Dutchess, and Putnam Counties, New York, are hereby irrevocably pledged for the payment of the principal of and interest of such bonds as the same respectively become due and payable. An annual appropriation shall be made in each year sufficient to pay the principal of and interest of such bonds becoming due and payable in such year. There shall annually be levied on all the taxable real property in said school district, a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest of school bonds of the same because become due and payable. Section 5. Subject to the provisions of the local finance law, the power to authorize the insurance of and to sell bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the insurance of sale of bonds herein authorized, including renewals of such notes, is thereby delegated to the President of the Board of Education, the Chief Fiscal Officer. Such notes should be of such terms, forms, and contents, and shall be sold in such manner and may be prescribed by said President of the Board of Education, consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. Section 6. All other matters except as provided herein relating to the bonds herein authorized including the date, denominations, maturities, and interest payment dates within the limitations prescribed within and the matter of execution of the same, including the consolidation with other issues, and also the abilities to issue bonds with substantially level or declining annual debt service shall be determined by the President of the Board of Education, the Chief Fiscal Officer of such school district. Such bonds shall contain substantially the recital of validity clause provided for in section 52 of the local finance law, and shall otherwise be in such form and contain such recitals in addition to those required by section 51 of the local finance law, as the President of the Board of Education shall determine consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. Section 7. The validity of such bonds and bond anticipation notes may be contested only if such obligations are authorized for an object or purpose for which such school district is not authorized to expend money, or the provisions of law which shall be compiled with as the date of publication of this resolution are not substantially compiled with. And an action, suit, or proceeding contesting such validity is commenced within 20 days after the date of such publication, or such obligations or authorized in violation of the provisions of the Constitution. Section 8, this resolution shall constitute a statement of official intent for purposes of Treasury Regulations, Section 1.502. Other than as specified in this resolution, no monies are reasonably expected to be resolved, allocated on a long-term basis, or otherwise set aside with respect to the permanent funding of the object or purpose described within. Section 9, this resolution, which takes effect immediately, shall be published in summary form in the official newspaper of said school district for such purpose, together with a notice of the school district clerk substantially in the form provided in section 81 of the local finance law.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. That was some heck of a, I'm glad you're reading them. Any discussion?
I'll second the motion.
I'm sorry. Second, Mr. Rubin.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to amend section 9 where they talk about the official newspaper. We have 2 as approved earlier, so in the official newspapers, I'd like to pluralize newspaper to newspapers.
Okay.
So I make a motion to pluralize the newspaper.
Second.
You have to read the whole thing, don't you? Everyone go ahead, who seconds that?
Second.
All those in favor? Any other questions? All those in favor of the resolution?
I just want to speak. So I just want to. So I just want to make clear to the public that this was the bond that was voted on May 21st for the equipment, the buses.
No.
For the buses.
For buses. It's a
Right.
bond anticipation note, it's not a serial bond. So it's a bond anticipation note, we call it a ban. It's a short-term borrowing.
Got it.
Okay?
Thank you.
14.02, Mid-Hudson School Study.
I didn't get a vote.
Oh, did you vote yet? All those in favor of the resolution? All in favor? 14.02.
Was it unanimous?
It was unanimous. Mr., don't tell me you abstained from that vote too.
I did not. Unanimous, I did say that.
14.02, Mid-Hudson School Study Council School Law Conference.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the following board members to attend the Mid-Hudson School Study Council Annual School Law Conference on August 2nd, 2019 at Aquinas Hall of Mount St. Mary College at the cost of $135 registration fee. Member rate for a group of 3 or more, and any reimbursement for mileage, travel, tolls, and meals per board policy. Trustee Peggy Kelly.
I'd also like to attend that. Anybody else? All in favor?
Give me the motion and the second.
I motion to add John.
Second.
All in favor? To 14.03, approval to attend the New York State School Board Association Summer Law Conference.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve that board member Rob Rubin and
I also like to attend that.
we have to go back and motion that, or
Just say John.
Just say John.
John Lemire attend the NISPA Summer Law Conference on July 23rd in 2019 in Latham, New York, with registration fee of $300 member rate and any reimbursement for mileage, tolls, and meals per board policy.
Motion?
Ms. Second?
Second, no, Peggy.
Peggy Kellum, all those in favor? Unanimous? 14.04, approval to attend 2019 Board Officers Academy.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the Board of Education President and Vice President to attend the 2019 Board Officers Academy at the cost of the 2019 registration fee, which is $275 was the member rate for 2018, and any reimbursement for mileage, travel, tolls, parking, and meals per board policy.
Discussion? Motion? Second?
Second.
Mr. Rubin, all those in favor?
No, now
Any
discussion.
discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Conference. I think I'm done. 1405, New York State School Board Association Annual Convention.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve
Mr. Rubio.
a board member attend the NISPA 100 Annual Convention and Education Expo on October 24th through 26th, 2019 in Rochester, New York, at a cost of $490 registration fee, member rate, and any reimbursement for hotel mileage, travel, tolls, parking, and meals per board policy. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education does hereby appoint
John Rubio.
to serve as its voting delegate at the annual NISPA annual convention and gives full discretion on voting to the attention of the board. And after hearing discussion and amendments on the convention floor.
Let me just say that I cannot attend that particular dates. I'll be in Sicily, so I will not be able to attend that. So I recommend that we appoint the former board member, our board president, unless somebody else wants to go to that particular meeting. I agree. Everybody, I make a motion that we appoint
Peggy
Peggy
Kelland.
Kelland to attend the New York State School Board Association Annual Convention in Rochester, New York.
Second. Okay, vote.
Discussion. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Peggy. 15.401, board members may request additional agenda items. Are there any additional to the agenda that board members request? Seeing none, communications from the public.
You've all been seeing my shining face for quite a few years. And I've watched lots of transition on the Board of Ed, and as happy as am I to congratulate Mr. Lumia, I don't know if we'll, no disrespect to anyone, ever have a more dedicated president than we had with Peggy Kelland. Of all the schools and communications I've had with the PTA presidents, the school districts, it's hard for any one parent to find an event that included more than 50 children that she wasn't at. So I just would like to thank her for her time.
That was a quick meeting. Really was. I just want to talk to you really quick about if you can answer the question. My name is John Fulton. I went through Wappinger Central School District. I played at East Fishkill Soccer Club, and I benefited from all the athletic programs at John Jay. And for a while now, I've taken over 2 soccer teams, and I'm kind of trying to get them to play on the same fields that Coach Sipe and Coach Grimes, at Ketchum play. And I seem to be getting a lot of friction. And I was actually told to come here to the board because you guys actually control it. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. Control who can rent a field, who cannot rent a field, who can play on a field. And I called Beacon, Brewster, Mayapack, Marlboro, Lords. They all rent out their space. So I'm kind of wondering what can we do to benefit the kids that are going to be coming through the Wappinger Central School District. 95% of my team is from Wappinger Central School District, paying almost $200,000 worth of taxes, and I'd like to maybe play at John Jay Field. There was a precedent. I played my whole career through East Fishkill. I played at John Jay Field the whole entire time. It was always given to us. I don't even think we paid for it. And the other thing is, when you guys have your JV team or a varsity team or some team needs to have another game, because there's a high school game going on here, they take our space at East Fishkill. I don't know if you guys pay for it or not. We get booted from our practice time, so the John Jay JV team or the John Jay varsity team or the girls team can play a game. So I kind of like, you kind of go over to the East Fishkill Soccer Club and take their space, and then it doesn't seem we ever get a chance to kind of, and I'm willing to pay for it. I just don't know who to talk to because I've got to run around for the last 6 months on what to do. So I'm kind of asking, what can I do? Or what is possible? Okay. Thank you.
Seeing no other comment to the board, make a motion to, end the meeting.
Yes.
So moved. And so moved, Ms. Johnson and Mr. Rubin. All those in favor?
Yeah, you're gonna have